kitas mūsų pranešėjas, Ülar Mark, architektas, ir jo pranešimas tema KODA, dėmesys net ir smulkiausioms, būsto statybos ir pardavimo detalėms.
Okay. Good late morning. My name is Ülar Mark, and I'm trying to tell shortly the story of making small building during last 3 years. So when it's called KODA, and let's see where we start to understand what is innovation on such a small building. So we started like 3 of us, and as you see, there is a very different background people. One of them a finance chemist from the concrete industry, then one architect and one from the IT sector. And I think that's crucial to have from the starting point different kind of point of views to the things what you are doing, because first of all the today's process is usually like asking from architects to making some sketch, and then you know how it works. But we started all together. So and first of all, when we started, what was the first questions or task what we tried to solve? One of the things is like buildings are responsible for 40% of energy consumption and 36% of CO2 emission in the EU, and it's even worse in outside of EU, of course. So I have to turn a little bit my back to you to read it, but there is a question that we ask that how we can have an extra space in city centers, how we can cut energy use, how these buildings can be energy producer instead of using energy, how to lower the noise, dust and CO2. So, and finally the question, which is very spatial, how many square meters enough? And then quite after a few weeks, we got the point where we ask why car industry is beating construction business on price, innovation, quality, actually all the layers, and what can copy it from this sector. And then the question how we can simplify the house, getting rid of window frames, things when you produce it in a factory. Actually, the question is off-site building or factory building. And then of course we will come to the point how this creation process can be changed. And this is also goes back to this car industry. Then does house need a foundation when we're talking about smaller units? And of course LED light revolution, which is all around the car industry and everywhere have been flourishing, but not actually in the all the automatization also. It's not still working well in industrial industry of construction. So, and then of course it should be a winterproof, it should be passive house or similar, the optimize the size of living, using a solar power, integrated smart systems, how we really work indoor climate, not just a ventilation system, but indoor climate, how to manage with acoustic, both acoustic, but noise comes in or inside acoustic. So natural materials, and the last point is, what if these buildings are movable? And finally, there are so many different things, and shortly we say that we took all these state standards and outperformed them heavily. What kind of building we will get? So and back to car industry, just this is a kind of wall what we have had 3 years in front of our eyes. then when we're talking about these small cars cost from 3,000 euros, and you always get the design quality, and it's working when you buy it. Not like the new building, when usually your first month dealing with construction company to solve all mistakes. And then what you will get from this price, what kind of buildings you will get, and then up to 100,000 price of the car, then actually you can have already something on top of these compared to cars. But you either have good design or you have a good insulation or something like never together. At least we couldn't find it. So just to have a closer look of 3,000 cars and 3,000 homes without any automatization, electricity, whatever. These are just frames. So it just helps us. And my friend is working as car designer in Frankfurt Kia factory, and we talked a lot how the process of making cars is, and the main message of him was like the designers are always making one-to-one model finally. So what else? We also made one-to-one model, and I think it's very important to have this spatial quality controlled in a real world or one-to-one scale. So also in furniture and things, just to think about what would be the best solution to the case. Actually, that's a plan we got. That's the first floor. We have outside terrace, then living room, kitchen, and bathroom and toilets here. And then you go up here, so you can stand here on this platform, which is over the technological corner, and then you have beds in the second floor. So when somebody asking what is the concept of your house, then usually I'm saying that yes, we have 15 concepts. And I think it's very important that we had the time, not instead of making sketch and selling it, or as architects usually do, we worked during 1 year with all these concepts, and we tried to put all these concepts together. So one of the concept is that the wall can be very thin, so we don't need extra finish outside or extra finish inside. Usually it's kind of you have a layer by layer by layer what is, and finally you have beautiful look. So that's a construction, and that's concrete is outside, CLT, cross-laminated timber, is inside, and then it's connected to the plastic beam, so it works as a monolithic and composite panel. And then there is inside the winter areas, like Nordic countries, we have a vacuum insulation panel, but let's say in Holland or UK we don't need it, and then it's usual insulation system. Okay, but we worked out this panel and all these ways how to do it. Just example of the corner of the upper corner of the building. So and finally we have only few pieces to talk about. That's a foundation, the first wall, second, then we have unit of bathroom and technology in the floor and roof, and this is how it comes out from the factory actually. So, and the other thing is also that the factory is movable, so that if let's say we can transport to UK or Holland 10 houses or 20, but already if we have 100 or 200 of them, then the factory is specially made so that we can move the factory, or at least the heavy part of the factory where the concrete is working. So these panels are worked outside of plywood, so that the concrete will be here, and the cross-laminated timber will be turned into the concrete. But it's a longer story actually. And then when the concrete is outside, then we talked about how to finalize it, what kind of texture it would be, and we made a lot of tests. Should it be what it should be? But I'm sailing myself, and one day I looked at the old sails, and I thought that maybe it can be the texture of the concrete. So we made the first tests of so that you have old sails, underneath and you have a concrete over it, and then you get this kind of concrete texture outside. And it's especially nice when raining, then it's always different how it's, not to say crying, but making art, let's say. So that's a unit. The first prototype was we made 2 years ago. And that's kind of one unit inside from the upper sleeping level. And then you can see the sleeping level here, and behind the kitchen is bathroom. So the bathroom pictures. And solar panels are up on the roof, so I'm going quicker. Then we were asked to Oslo open houses, so we just bring the building as a panels and set it up in the middle of the Oslo, and we had this open doors day. What we have done, I'm just showing the project. Then one thing is like temporary school classes, because amount of children all the time is changing. So one of the big schools needed some smaller spaces for manage. So we have to make also connection to the school because of fire regulations. We couldn't. So this is glass from inside, and the corridor is, look, you can see the corridor which is connecting to the school. They all are kind of temporary. Then we have one KODA piece in London Innovation Center, and then one in Amsterdam, Almere. Actually, on Saturday there will be the opening of tiny housing conference, and there is some 9 or 10 tiny houses, and all the Holland municipalities are dealing now the possibility to change the law so that these small units can be easily used in municipalities. So the project, what we a few days ago we opened it, is parking plot front of the new buildings, and it's very center of the city. So it took one day to install the buildings, and then takes 5 days for the making all terraces around. So it's actually 1 week, and you're just using the car parking. Car parking instead, you can have living units. So these are pictures of, and these rooms are used like hotel rooms, and also one of them we have our architectural office. So you are welcome to visit it when you come to Tallinn. That's a picture of hotel room. The nighttime, actually this is for bicycle and electricity socket also to charge electricity. Because it's especially good acoustic inside, it can be very close to the road, and it's quiet inside. That's basically, we call it not a building a house, we call it kind of house taxi, that you ask, sorry, can I have one, and next day you have your house. That's a joke, of course, because it usually takes half a year to make all paperwork. And that's really big contradiction that you're doing paperwork half a year and then one day you have it. That's how it travels. That's fresh concrete here, and how it turned into fresh concrete. So this the other part of the panel. So always people are asking what is important thing is it can be a nice piece, but how it really works in business wise, or is it really have some kind of model? So we made it also out of strange business model out of it, so that factories are producing and investors are buying these units and then renting to those who are making a business. It means that the foundation or investor will get, at least in our case, 8% yield per year. And it's important that we have central plots to temporary use, because these are for temporary use. When they have their master plan done, then after 5 years we just move them away. So when there is no risk, because it's all in 1 day delivery, and it's so as kind of car that it's getting better and better. I'm not saying that in the first day we didn't have the mistakes. Important thing is that we have produced 31 of them. It means that every next building has less mistakes as it works in a car situation. So so it's important that it's really minimal running cost, because we have so good insulation and also panels, sun power. And what is different from the others, that we have actually aftermarket, that if you are tired of your building, then you can sell it. Basically, it's not like a car that it loses the value during 10 years. And it's just growth and growth, and we got several architectural prizes. Actually, it starts from the World Architecture Festival. We got as a finalist, and then it spread everywhere. We got silver medal from American Architectural Prize, and then Architizer, and then we were nominated in Mies van der Rohe Award nomination, and then we also proposed for London innovation way of doing things, and we were one of the winners, and the city government asked us to be a part of making a manifesto how to solve the crisis of living spaces in London. And the Business Insider said that we are the most innovation homes of 2016. Just as an architect, it's the first time in my career we kind of have architecture as based on the really yellow newspapers. And as our ambassador in London said, that it's after 10 years the first news in the Sun when the positive mention about Estonia. You know, the yellow page is always making kind of negative things, and it was why, how come? So, and also Daily Mail, and this several times in Business Insider, and that's the 10 most innovation homes in 2016. You can just Google it. So what else we're doing now is, first of all, we have one KODA in Holland, one in Sweden, one in Finland, one in UK, and there is kind of ongoing projects. We hope that we have some villages, but first of all, we working with our own project in Estonia, that it's much more simple. It's more simple to make the clear mistakes in your backyard than to fix something in Holland. So we won one competition of Tallinn Harbor area. They asked temporary use for 5 years. So and we proposed to have in this place 56 KODAs, and it would be like a KODA stay hotel solution. It can be just longer living. And also offices and co-working spaces, cafes and entertainment, shop services. It means that actually we're creating one small village inside of the Tallinn. That's a point where we actually talking about next year project is the old town is here, and the project what we're talking is here, and that's the master plan of 2030. The Žaliasis office won the competition, but it all takes a lot of time, and that's why the port is looking temporary use for a while. So and that's the area where we will have over 56 KODAs here. Those buildings are by Žaliasis, the new proposal. Of course, these buildings are not going to be in Estonia because it's master plan. The Žaliasis office will not build all of them. But this is a kind of first view of two-story complex of harbor. So, and I would say like village so that it's active use. And of course, it's just a glimpse of the thing. As I said, there is 11 different concepts of what we trying to reach. Oh, yep, we also sending one units to USA because there is so many inquiries, and why not to have also this market, but it's more complicated story already. But thank you.